Hey everybody, Jonathan Cronstead here, or Jay Cron as you may know me, CEO of Empower Network, coming to you with another Empower Network Rising Star. And couldn't be happier. Today we are going to be spending some time with the Shawn Johnson. And Shawn, say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, Shawn Johnson here. I'm glad to be here, Jay Cron. Thank you.
Excellent. And as always, I'm joined by my lovely assistant, Tara Mengen, who's handling our recording today. Tara, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
All righty. So here's what we're going to be doing. In Empower Network's Rising Star, what you're seeing is you're going to see us continue to spend time with individuals that are new, noteworthy, making great things happen with their Empower Network business. And the entire goal of our time together is to give you the opportunity to get to know them a little bit more, get to know their story, get to know how they're driving their results, and have the opportunity to hopefully be inspired, encouraged, maybe have their insights remove any roadblocks that you're experiencing, and just get to know how much success is being created all over the globe with this amazing community of engaged affiliates and entrepreneurs. So with that, Shawn, start us off. Tell us what life was like for you leading up to Empower Network. Where'd you come from? What's your background? Tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, I'm the oldest of three kids, and I was raised in a single-parent home, and I always saw my mom, work 2 or 3 jobs, and during my lifetime, I was raised in the projects, so I seen a lot of crime. I seen a lot of things in my lifetime, and just saying that, I wanted to be different. I didn't want to fall into that crowd, which was easy to fall into. My mom was never home because she was working 2 and 3 jobs. So, I went to college and started getting bad grades in college. So I decided to go to the Army, and that was like one of the best things that happened to me because it gave me discipline. It showed me how to be a man. It showed me how to just pretty much be responsible as a person. So, in doing that, coming home, things was a little rocky at the time coming home, and I saw my mom just still struggle and things like that. So I had to become one of the men, the man of the house to help her with the bill. So kind of fast forward, I had several different jobs, worked in the prison, worked at a hospital. And the number one thing that helped me is when I actually landed a job as a police officer, because then I was in a position where I could help people, but I was also in a position where, I could do a lot of different things for the community. So during that process, I got into the home-based business industry, and what happened was my realtor at the time, husband, called me on a Sunday and was like, hey, look, I have one of those things. He didn't say it like that, but that's what I was thinking. I have something for you to look at. I'm like, here we go, one of those things again.
Yep, one of those things. And man, you were just too curious that you had to at least take a look, right?
Yeah, I was curious, but at the same time, I respected him as a person, and I knew that he wasn't just was going to dive into anything. So I gave him that much respect to even look, but he showed me a presentation at my home right after church, and I pretty much was in. My wife wasn't in, but I was in. And I was like, hey, we have $500 to join. She said, is in the account. I joined. So I was pretty much an easy sell because I was already sold on pretty much the business model. But, during that course of that business, I ran into tremendous roadblocks. In a year, I was only able to sponsor 2 people in my business. And during that time, I was barely getting customers who wanted my products and services. So being curious, you go on the internet, you look for information, you search and search and search. And I just came across some information that I thought it was legit, but then it looked kind of funky to me, so I stepped back. So I continued doing my, what I really knew what to do. Driving an hour to talk to one person who didn't join to drive an hour back. So that's 2 hours out of my life that I spent with somebody who wasn't really even interested, but I was desperate. So what the straw that broke the camel's back is when one of my partners now who was with me in the Power Network, the company we was in, the CEO was coming to our town. So we went out and got dressed up, went to Kinko's, got flyers, and I went out and started passing flyers at the local malls in the area. And the thing that hit me, I was walking to a lady, and when I reached my arm out, she was like, no, I'm not interested. That felt like she stuck a dagger in my heart and twisted it. And from that point, I said, you know what, Lori? My friend is Lori in the Power Network. I said, you know what? If I got to keep building my business this way, I would never, ever do this again. So from that point, I came back online, ran into some more information, and that's when I kind of saw Tracy Walker, but I wasn't in her circle, but I saw her within that information that I started diving into, and that started to help me to market. That started showing me how to do different.
So it almost sounds like a lot of our Empower Network community can really relate to is that you really wanted to be in the home-based business industry. You really wanted to earn a living from home, but you almost found us out of frustration, out of loving the industry but not being able to generate the results you knew you were capable of. So when you look back to Empower Network and you look at the results that you're generating, everybody always has kind of a favorite story, whether it be about a certain breakthrough or a commission story, or there's always something that everyone is most excited about or most memorable about their time at Empower Network. What is that for you? What stands out in your mind? If I said, what's the most memorable commission, what's the most memorable story, what is it?
Oh, well, it was back when we went to Austin. We had the event in Austin, Texas, and my wife said, you know what, I'm going to come to an event. She wasn't really sold on what I was doing, so she said, I'm going to come to the event. I said, well, come on. So she came to the event, and when we did the commission countdown, she really didn't know how much I made in the Power Network. When we did the commission countdown, I think at that time I might have been over $10,000, maybe 20. And when I stood up and got on the stage, she did like a double take, and she was like, when I came back, she was like, where the money at? I like the mortgage getting paid, right? So I just remember a moment, and then to see her come into the room, we had the breakout room at that time with our team, and for her to see David Wood and Sharp at the time, he was with us. For her to see that, and she see David walk through a hotel with shorts and feet on, and she has a master's degree, and that wasn't making more than him, that kind of took her back. She was like, you mean it's
that's a big perspective shift for a lot of people. Big perspective shift.
Yeah, so we after that we went back to the room. She said, you know what, I support what you do. So that was the biggest moment for me to have her on board with what I do, because previously she never was on board. I do the Tuesday meeting, the Thursday meeting, the Super Saturday, never sponsor a person, and at the end of the year, I have nothing to show for it. But now she sees it, and she sees that I enjoy it, and she loves it because she see all the friends I made as well.
So Shawn, let me ask you, what in the time you've been with Empower Network, how much have you earned in commissions in your entire time with us?
I know when we first started, we had that little thing with the merchant account. I probably made over $50,000. To be honest with you, Jay, that wasn't really a big fascination with me to look at the commissions and see how much I made. As long as I was making money where I knew it worked, and then I can take that money and maybe reinvest into what I do. But now I'm like on a different mission, because now I see I can do a lot of different things, help a lot of different people if I make more money. So at that time, I didn't have my son. My mission was totally different. I want to just prove to my wife that I can make $5 online. That's pretty much it. And now my mission is totally different because I have a 17-month-old, and I'm already grooming him of how to use the mouse on the computer. So how he can
time to get serious and have that be an example, which is outstanding. And for everyone watching this, Shawn's results aren't typical because Shawn isn't typical. If you'd like to see our average earnings disclaimer, it's at empowernetwork.com/income. And what I love about that, Shawn, is you talked about how differently you're going to train your son as he approaches the business world and he grows up, and it sounds like the home-based business industry and Empower Network and those beliefs in freedom, those beliefs in doing things a little bit differently, those sound like things that you really want to weave into your family.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
So Shawn, if you look at your breakthrough or the moment for you where everything changed and it was completely different from that moment on, if you had to look back and define when your breakthrough was, when was it?
I think my breakthrough actually was when I probably got started with Empower Network, but until recently, I had everything that I needed. I wasn't new to this. By the time I got into Empower Network, I had been around the block a time of 20, so I knew what to do, but I just didn't have the right processes, and I just didn't have the right company, if I could say the right company. So not until recently, I started looking at the top producer formula, and I really started paying attention to the information, because we get stuff sometimes and we look at it, but we really don't comprehend it, or we really don't study it the right way or take action. That was me. I'll be honest and say I'll be transparent, and that was me. But once we started making a shift, and once we got a new blogging system, and I wasn't a product at the product back then. I was still using my own blog, but I was telling other people they needed the blog. They needed an Empower Network blog, so I wasn't congruent with my information. But once I let my ego go, I said, okay, I got that blog, but I'm gonna put it to the side. Now I'm gonna start using the Power Network blog. Now I'm gonna start diving into more into the training, so I can help more people. And that's when I did that. The top producer forum, bam, 4 people in a day, 3 people in a day, 2 people in a day. I mean, just before we got in this hangout, I just put somebody in just before we got in the hangout. I was like, hey, I'm gonna send you the information, but hey, I got to get on a call with the CEO. I'll talk to you later. And she was like, hey, I'm done. Just send it to me. I'm ready to join. So that was the breakthrough. Just diving.
Well, I mean, you got to love that. I mean, it's nice to be able to tell everybody, hey, I'm about to jump on the phone with the CEO. I'll call you back. So hopefully that was helpful. And I love the fact that you're talking about the top producer formula, because I do believe the top producer formula is one of the most transformational products that Dave Wood has ever created, because it really teaches people how to begin producing in their business, and to be driving that forward is a habit that once you build it, it'll pay you for a lifetime. So Shawn, if you look at, right now you're on video, thousands of people watch this over the time of us showing Empower Network's Rising Stars. If you had one thought to leave them with, or you had one thing that you want them to know, and remember, they may be looking at us without having gotten started yet, they may be just starting, they may be mid-range into their business. If you knew you could say one thing to them, what would it be?
I would say, if you're not started, I'd say get started. If you're already started, I would say get serious with the information and become a product of the product. Because at the end of the day, I truly would say, if you actually go through the products and you implement the information your right way, I don't care if you're in another business and you want to use Empower Network to build that, or you're just a Power Network strictly, you actually can be successful just from the top producer alone. I mean, not to get away from your questions, but how I do my business is totally different from how other people do that business, but that's okay. That's your style. That's how you do it. Just digest the information and use it how you see fit based on your personality. So, I mean, people don't even see a presentation when they join me. Everybody I've been putting in for the last 30 days never saw a presentation of Empower Network. Maybe a couple of people because they joined on their own. But most people never see a presentation. But that's how I do it. You could be different from me. So I would say get serious. Take action. That's the number one thing. Take action and just make yourself the product. And when you kind of make yourself the product, things are going to start coming. I don't want to say it's easy, but it just seems so easy of lay of how I've been doing things. And I know you as a person can do the same thing.
So, Shawn, it sounds like you've uncovered a lot of really great things internally that you have as natural gifts that are allowing you to build the business the way that you want, which is outstanding. And, Shawn, I just want to thank you for sharing your success with us, sharing your story. It's really something that every time we feature a new success story, it's going to give somebody else out there permission to dream. It's going to give somebody else out there permission to achieve in their business. So thank you very much for paying it forward and sharing the success that you've experienced with everybody out there watching, no matter where they are, no matter what corner of the world they're in. Shawn, we appreciate it. We honor you for being one of Empower Network's Rising Stars. And I got to ask you, what are you most excited about? What's coming next that you're just like, man, I am so excited for this?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no clue what's coming next. I'm just excited to be here. I'm just excited for this opportunity, and I'm just excited just to be a part of the organization, and just to be a part of an organization that I've been in a few things, as they say, and had a little bit of success, never a major success, but, with this company and with what we are doing, helping a lot of people, I'm just excited for that, just to see, the average person making, a large income from home just by following a couple of things that we tell them to do every day. So that makes me excited to see the next man have success.
Well, we're just getting started, Shawn. Thank you so much for being a part of it and being on the cutting edge of home-based business entrepreneurship with us. We're changing the game one success story at a time, and I'm so happy to be featuring yours on today's Empower Network Rising Stars. So, Shawn, thank you very much, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you personally in Nashville.
Yes, sir. Well, I tried to get to Nashville, but I had some things way before Nashville. I was talking to Tracy, my sponsor in the Power Network, so I'm working on that. But she was like, how one of the top man recruiters can't make it to Nashville? I said, I'm working on that diligent. Hopefully I can be there, but we'll see. That's my goal.
Well, I know if you can be, you're going to be, and I know that Tracy's going to make sure that if you're not, that you pay for it, because, she wants you there, and I want you there too. So, Shawn, thank you so much, and ladies and gentlemen, until our next Rising Star, Jonathan Cronstead, CEO of Empower Network, we'll talk to you soon.
Folks, obviously the income examples discussed are extraordinary. The income claims presented are not intended to serve as a guarantee of income. Instead, they're designed to give you an idea of what's possible. Success in this business requires leadership, hard work, and dedication. Since we want to help you make an informed decision, we've gone above and beyond with our income disclosure document. If you want to see the average earnings, please visit the page at www.empowernetwork.com/income.php.